It's Sunday once again, my favorite day of the week. We're actually starting early. It's still 3 minutes till 2 o'clock. But I thought, well, our special guest is here now. So, and he's ready. So I thought we're going to start early. So it's 3 minutes till 2 o'clock here in the UK. It's 3 minutes till 9 in the evening in Manila. I do hope that some of my dear friends in Manila are watching us right now. And I'm really excited about today's guest because, as a fun girl, I mean, most people know that I like sort of like asking for photos and sort of like asking for signatures and stuff. So I do call myself a fangirl. So as a fangirl, it's always nice when musicians actually sort of like tell you that they remember you from but when you went to their gigs and you asked them for photographs, especially drummers, when they tell you that, oh yeah, I remember you from this gig and so sometimes you feel like maybe they just say that to sort of like make you feel make you feel special. But I sincerely believe that he really meant it. He did say that he remembers me from the last time I saw them. And I was so happy about it because that was like 3 years ago when I went to see them live. So I'm really pleased about that. So when I asked him to guest on Ask the Drummer, he said yes. And I am so happy about it. And he's here now live on Ask the Drummer. So my dear friends, please welcome Joel Kaye. Yay!
What a great introduction.
No, I'm really so like happy. It was like when I sent you a message on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then you said, yeah, I remember you. I was like, oh my God.
It's not very often someone asks for a picture with the drummer, so it's quite memorable.
That was like 3 years ago in Manchester, Night and Day in Manchester. So it was like a long time.
I think it was a BBC showcase or something.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you very much for making me feel wonderful when you said that.
No, remember it well. Remember it very well. It's a good gig.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's Joel, isn't it?
It's Joel, that's right, yeah.
Because in the Philippines, we actually say Joel.
Joel, yeah.
Joel.
Yeah, my girlfriend's mum calls me Joel. It's as long as it's not Joe, that's what I normally get called. It's not Joe. Any other.
Yeah, it's like with Noel.
Noel,
we say Noel in the Philippines.
Yeah, my uncle always used to call me Noel, but I was born in June. Noel's a very festive name, so my mum always used to get quite annoyed at me. My uncle calling me Noel instead of Joel. But,
instead of Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are you anyways? Because you look so different from the last time I saw you 3 years ago.
I've lost a lot of weight and a lot of hair since then. Yeah.
That's right.
I definitely carrying some lockdown weight when we met the first time. It's been good. Been getting really into sort of running and eating healthier and still drinking though. I still have a beer, Not all the time,
Yeah, I remember because I think it was September and Ask the Drummer was fairly new at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, next week is actually Ask the Drummer's third year anniversary.
Yeah,
so it started on the 1st of August. So
right, cool.
In 2 days' time.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're like the last of the third year of Ask the Drummer because we're going to be entering the 4th year of Ask the Drummer next Sunday.
Yes, going well.
Yeah, and sorry about that because I always tell our guests that always happens every Sunday afternoon.
We just wait for Sunday afternoon. As soon as you go live, the sirens happen.
But anyway, so welcome to Ask the Drummer. Episode 136 is all about you, Joel Kaye.
Cool.
Can I just ask you, first of all, you're not related to JK, are you?
No.
I'm
not related to Peter Kay. I'm not related to Vernon Kay.
No. Is it like, because I found out that he's actually born in Stretford.
Right.
So is Kay like a common name in Manchester?
Must be. I mean, I'm Stockport originally, Cheadle, Heath, and all that sort of area. So, K's are common as muck. They're everywhere.
Oh, I'm glad because I live in Stockport now. I've been here since I think 2008.
Nice,
I mean,
nice.
yeah, we were in Manchester from 1996, and then we
Yeah.
moved there. In
I kind of
Stockport.
swapped over. I'm in Salford now. I'm in Swinton, so that's where I live. Over
Also, it's
Salford way. Yeah.
it's the other way around. Yeah. Well, Aiden O'Rourke said that sound and vision excellent. Aiden is my tech support. Do you know when I was doing the testing earlier today, I was actually talking to him, making sure that everything's fine. So, so you were born in Stockport.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Stepping Hill Hospital?
Right. Yeah. Stepping in. Yeah. Everyone from Stockport's born there. Everyone.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Well, what was like Stockport like when you were growing up?
It was good. It was good. I still like the area. The music program at school wasn't too great, so I was really into football growing up. And then I realised I was really bad at it. I always used to play in net, so I'm too short to be a goalkeeper. So that's growing up in Stockport and playing football, then realising that's probably not going to happen. That's when I found the drums.
But music-wise, there's always been sort of like a rich, music history in Stockport, right? I know it's not Manchester, but it's part of Greater Manchester.
That's right. Area. Yeah, 10cc. That's the real band from Stockport.
Yeah. And Strawberry Studios, all these sort of like bands going to Stockport to record there.
Yeah. Used to walk past it all the time.
Yeah. And I've actually sort of like discovered there's quite a lot of recording studios in Stockport as well. But where we live, next door used to be Cavalier.
Oh, yeah. All right, so on the A6 around there.
Yeah.
The first studio I went to was in Hallam Mill, which is just down the road from that, behind the church.
Oh, okay.
That's where I first recorded or played drums with other people.
That
Hallam Mill. It's still, I can't remember the name of the studio is still there, but it used to be called Moulin Rouge back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Used to have loads of really cool bands that record there. You had like Iron Clute and Badly Drawn Boy and Doves and all that sort of stuff. They'd all record just down the road from Cavalier there. Yeah.
It's a shame though that I don't know if that recording studio is still going, but it's a shame that Cavalier is no more.
Yeah.
It's sad. So, are you from a musical family?
No. No. My sister can sing, and that's about it. No musical. I think my granddad could play a bit of piano, but there definitely wasn't any drummers. So I don't know where this is coming from.
I know that you're a singing drummer because you sing as well.
Attempting to sing. Singing badly, probably. Yeah.
But is that so like is the drum so like your first instrument or the first thing that you've sort of like learned, or did you try and learn other musical instruments?
Yeah. So naturally when a kid's asking for a drum kit, they end up with a guitar. So I started with guitar. Really, all right. I think I know about 4 chords, but I proved that I could learn to play a bit of guitar, which ended up getting a drum kit, which was the main goal anyway. So I could play a bit of guitar. I wouldn't call myself a guitarist at all, but started out on guitar first.
But what about being a singer?
Don't know when that happened. Actually, I can tell you when that happened. So I've been in loads of bands at this point, and I think it was around about, I don't know, must have been 2009. The band that I was in, I'd left at that point and sort of became a duo band with my mate Jimmy. We were called Ruby Tuesday. And the reason why we were a duo band is just like we were just sick of relying on other people at this point. So I was like, cool, I'll sing. So it's just something I've been able to do. Some drummers can't do it with the coordination and the singing, but I've always been able to. It's never been that much of a problem. It's just the actual singing that sounds bad.
No, because it must be really hard. So, like, because you're concentrating on playing the drums, but then you also have to sing as well.
And I find it it's quite natural. It's a coordination thing. It's a a lot of drummers don't breathe when they play. They're like, if they're trying something, the first thing they'll naturally do is like, and hold the breath, and the body will go into like a why aren't we breathing sort of shock mode. So I learned early on, to breathe, and then I was like, I can sing, I can do this. So it's always been quite an easy task. Like I said, it's just the actual singing in pitch is the harder bit than the drumming bit while singing.
But was there like a specific moment that you said, this is what I'm going to do as a career, so like I'm going to be a drummer?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Sort of, I must have been, like I said, it's probably when I realised I was too short to be a goalkeeper. So in primary school, I was like first choice goalkeeper. Everyone's dead small in primary school. Went to secondary school and like did the trials and all that sort of stuff for the football team. And I was fourth choice goalkeeper. They only play 6 games a year. I don't think I'm going to get selected here. I mean, what are the chances of the other 3 goalkeepers who are like, really tall in year 7 at high school? I was like, I need something else here. And then, I'd already started sort of playing drums by this point anyway. I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that, because there was no other drummers in school at that point. So I was like, there we go. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I don't know any different. I've always just been drum focused. That's always what I wanted to do. And then when I did leave school and go to college and then working full time, it was, there was a point where I was in 3 bands, like every good drummer is. It's hard to come by. So I was 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week after work, gigging every weekend. So putting the hard hours there. So this is the first year of this being full time. So all 4 band members are full time on the band. So it's nice to have it finally pay off after, 20 years of working and drumming on the side. So it's nice for it to become my full time career now.
Yeah. So it wasn't the case like you saw someone, like you saw a band and they played, you saw the drummer and thought, oh, wow.
Yeah, Roger Taylor.
Oh,
Roger Taylor from Queen. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not Roger Taylor of Spandau Ballet.
Yeah, why not? No, Roger Taylor from Queen. Another great singer. That is a good singing drummer, Roger Taylor. So that must be where it came from. But definitely. My older sister sort of brought me up on a nice steady diet of classic rock. So Thin Lizzy, Led Zeppelin, Who, Queen, all that sort of stuff. All the good stuff that, a 10 to 13-year-old aspiring drummer should listen to. So I was brought up on a very good diet of classic rock, but it was Queen live at Wembley. I think it was live at Wembley. He's wearing that striped shirt. He's got the big Yamaha kit with like a stupid amount of toms. And I was like, there we go. That's what I'll be doing.
That's the one. Yeah.
Roger Taylor.
I must correct myself there. God, I'm so stupid. It's like Roger Taylor is Duran Duran.
Where's it, Duran Duran stand-up? I didn't even know one of them was called Roger Taylor.
I'm just so like thinking, I call myself a Durrani and they said Roger Taylor from Spandau Ballet. No, it's John Keeble is the drummer of Spandau Ballet, not Roger Taylor. Oh my God, it's so stupid.
If you'd have asked me what's the name of the drummer from Spandau Ballet or Duran Duran, I couldn't have answered it. So. I definitely want to say Roger Taylor.
It's so silly of me. I'm really sorry. I mean, I do apologize to all Duranis out there.
I'm surprised there's so many Duran Duran / Spandau Ballet fans watching this.
Anyway, so going back, did you have proper drumming lessons or were you self-taught?
Self-taught all the way up until 2020. So what happened was I started working at a drum shop, which means you're playing way more drums than you should do when you're working. And I was getting pains, aches. My left foot wasn't so great. And it was actually Richard Jupp from Elbow, who he was a regular in the shop, and I knew he was teaching. I was like, I think it's about time. I've gone as far as I can being self-taught. I need some lessons on coordination, independence, and basically what Jupp did, Jupp did himself out of the job. So he taught me so well of how to practice that I don't actually need him now, but I will check in and sort of jump in with a lesson with him from time to time. But that's the sign of a good teacher, that where I've gone to him saying, I need help with X, Y, and Z, and he teaches you how to apply practice to whatever you want to do. So I started that just before lockdown. And so I managed to get like 8 lessons in with him. And it was like the best timing ever, because working in a drum shop through COVID, which is closed, I was literally working on a computer and then turned this way and had a drum kit to practice on all day. And so through COVID, I worked with all the stuff that Jupp had taught me. And have you heard of Dave Elich as well? Played for like Mars Volta and Miley Cyrus. He's got a great, he's got a great course called Getting Out Your Own Way, and it's all technique stuff. So it was sort of like a factory reset in 2020 for my drumming, where I just sort of everything that I knew I just sort of threw away and like, right, let's start from level 1 again. And I'm still on that today, and it's the drums are a lot easier to play now, thanks for that Dave Elich course and Jupp. So big shout out.
So you know all your paradiddles now, and all your
just about. You have to remind me which one's that. Yeah. I don't go with all 42 rudiments, but it's amazing what you can do with just the basics. You've heard our music. My job is to be steady as I can be and sound as much like a drum machine as I can. So that practicing just fundamentals and coordination. I practice that stuff, so when one of the lads in the band goes the classic sort of guitarist thing, you should go you have to understand that. I can do it because I've worked on all this coordination, independence.
Yeah. So do you still work in that drum shop?
No, full time with the band now. I'm probably lucky enough to have 2 of my dream jobs in my lifetime. One of them was working at a drum shop, and the other one is being a professional drummer, a full-time drummer. Which is still weird to say. It's still weird to say that, but it's true. So I'm very, very fortunate to have two really cool jobs. Some people don't get
it's a dream job, being a drummer and working in a drum shop as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'd always wanted to work in a drum shop. So I worked in food retail before that, just stacking shelves and all that sort of stuff. And then the opportunity came to work at a music shop, and I was like, I've got to do that. So I was there for 7 years. So food retail for 13 years, drum shop for 7 years, and then now I'm full-time with this.
Full-time drummer.
Involves a lot more spreadsheets than I thought being a full-time rock and roll drummer would be, but it's good.
Well, before I ask you about Ist, I want to ask you about your first band.
Yeah.
What was your first band?
The band name was shocking. Called Hallam, because we practiced at Hallam Mill.
Oh, right,
okay. We're a 3-piece. So like some of my favourite bands are 3-piece. I love like power trios like Nirvana and Police and stuff like that, and Rush. So we were sort of doing that sort of what any sort of 13-year-old lads would be doing. It's look back at it now, it's quite cringy, but it was sort of kind of like Rage Against the Machine meets Rush.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't think I've played in an odd time signature since 2005 now. So.
So it's always been sort of like a rock, like a very sort of like.
Yeah, I've never had a double pedal, never really bothered with metal, but I love listening to metal music. I've always sort of stayed in my lane, so like my job's always been to be a very good indie rock, heavy rock, maybe pop, So I'm not practicing jazz, I'm not practicing metal. My job is to let's get people dancing, So I've never really bothered with like, the old jazzy Spangalang ride stuff, blast beats or anything like that, because it's just a waste of my time, because I'm never going to get a gig doing that. So I've always love rock music, stick to that. That's what I do.
Yeah. How long did Hallam last?
3 years, 4 years. Yeah, we're
So
all at
that's
school
quite good.
together. We're all at school together.
Yeah. And you still see them? Your old
No,
bandmates?
no, unfortunately not. No,
They don't
John
do
the
that.
singer, I think he teaches English in Japan now. I think he's a teacher in
Oh,
Japan. Yeah.
wow.
And my other schoolmate Charlie, I think he plays in another band called Hyena Kill now. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then after Hallam,
Mm.
what's your next band? Because there's only like 3 bands that I got from Google.
Okay, good. That means you can't find them. So started off with Hallam, and then believe it or not, I played bass for 2 years. Yeah, because I just got bored of the drums. It was sort of in the indie years, when Libertines and Arctic Monkeys were the brand thing, and Strokes and stuff like that. I was like, I'm going to play the bass. Probably the most boring bass player in the world, mate. All I did was just play root notes, nothing fancy. It did help my drumming though, because that band that I was in playing bass, I think they went through 2 or 3 drummers, and I thought, when you're playing bass and you're turning around and going, that's annoying. That why is the drummer doing that? So you know what I mean? I'd like to think I keep Andy, my bass player, as happy as possible. I'm sure I put some fills in there that do annoy him, but playing another instrument in a band and listening to another drummer, or having a drummer behind you, you learn a lot when you go back to that position. So that was a band called the Drain Pipes.
Okay.
Very sort of indie band. And then that band fell apart, and then a couple of the members, we started another band called Rum Diamond, and that's where I met Jimmy. And that band, there's a lot of bands to go through. It's 20 years, this. Rum Diamond fell apart, and then me and Jimmy did Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah, that's the one I actually found, that Ruby Tuesday band. So it's a duo. So it's
right.
It's a singing drummer.
Yeah. We did it way before Royal Blood. We did it way before Royal Blood. We never. The good thing about being the 2-piece was I've gone from being a bass player to back to the drums, and then having no bass player. So because they're the teammates, aren't they? That's the rhythm section, is the drummer and the bass player, and then being the lead singer in that as well. Me and Jim were probably a bit too creative, so we never had one particular style. So we never really had a full-on identity, because there was no rules, because it's just 2 of us could do whatever. So we're going to do a really heavy track, and we're going to do something with a load of samples in it, and it was just crazy, but it's probably one of the most creative sort of few years of being a musician I've had, which was great, because it's sort of like there's no rules, there's no bass player to adhere to. I'm just a guitarist, and I'm singing, so we could do whatever we wanted. And then I had another band called Thing, which was with Charlie from Hallam, so we sort of reunited. That was a bit short-lived. I think that was 2 years. And then obviously Is This, which is 10 years ago, in October. 10 years ago we formed.
Yeah. Well, the thing I found on the internet is there's it's actually on Facebook, Ruby Tuesday's Facebook page.
Right.
Your last gig. Well, there is although that Facebook page has got an S, and I think your band is only Ruby Tuesday and not Ruby Tuesdays.
Yeah, someone picked up our name and our logo very fast. I noticed that. I was like, good luck, because that's probably one of the most stupid band names you can pick, because you Google Ruby Tuesday and all you get is Rolling Stones.
Yeah, this right? or the Rod Stewart song. I think it's a cover version by Rod Stewart.
So,
but I saw your last gig, the poster for your last gig, and I've realized that last gig you've actually got Thing is playing.
Yeah. 3 shifts.
So you actually played for the 3 bands? You played drums for?
Yep. Wow. Yeah, that was the sending off party for Ruby Tuesday. It was all those bands on that bill. me and Jimmy had shared the stage with before. So there's Jimmy Wade on there, Twisted Dolls. God, I can't remember. There was loads, but they're all bands that me and Jimmy had met and made friends with over the 4 or 5 year period of Ruby Tuesday. So we booked the venue, we booked the castle, booked all the bands, and that's why the timings are weird. So Is This, they're on first, if I remember right. Finger in the middle, and obviously Ruby Tuesday are headlining, because we only did that because some of the lads from Thing weren't available till the evening. The Is This lads were free, so we put Is This on free. So I'm not doing 3 sets in a row.
Yeah. I was gonna say because the lineup, it just shows Ruby Tuesday, Thing, Is This, and I'm like, oh my god, he's playing like on 3 bands. So
It's a busy night, very busy night.
And I've noticed the price as well, £3 for all those bands playing, and that was in 2015, September 2015.
Some of the Ruby Tuesday business decisions weren't very clever. I think that was enough just to cover the price of renting the venue, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And the sound engineer.
That was your last gig after
Ruby
that.
Tuesday.
Was that because you were, I don't know how the sequence of it, but was it because you were already in Thing? That's why.
With Ruby Tuesday, Jimmy had his first child about a year and a half before that gig. And everything was fine. We were still practicing and stuff like that. And Jimmy's always wanted a big family. Always wanted a big family, you know what I mean? And I've always wanted to just pursue my music and stuff like that. So when his second child was on the way, we were already struggling to do gigs and rehearsals. And Jimmy's like, I'll make it work. I went, mate, it's been a good run, but you need to focus on your children and your family, stuff like that. So it was quite an emotional breakup, if you will, of the band. You know, it was amicable, but it was like we can't carry on doing this. So in that time, Is This and Thing formed, because I was like, I knew Jimmy, I knew Ruby Tuesday wasn't going to last forever. So I was like, I'm gonna join a couple of bands, you know. Jimmy used to rehearse twice a week. Yeah. As his first kid come along, we go down to once a week, and I'm like, I need to play more drums.
Yeah, because you mentioned earlier that you were in like 3 bands at the same time, so that was like Ruby Tuesday, Thing, and Is This.
That's right.
But Is This, so like we're already a band before you joined them?
Right. So if we go all the way back to the Drainpipes when I was playing bass, I met Adam and Andy. It would have been about 2007, 8, 6, something like that. They were in a band called the Casinos, and the Drainpipes and the Casinos would play the same shows. So I've known them two all the way from back there, and I thought the Casinos were like the coolest band in the world. They were like the Clash. The singer was crazy. And the drummer was great as well. They were a fun band. So I always got on with Adam. Andy wasn't the original bass player in that band, but then he came along, and then that band split. And then basically what happened was Ruby Tuesday got played all years later. Ruby Tuesday got played on what was Rock Radio, XS, Manchester.
Oh, yeah. And I remember that, yeah.
Adam rang me, and he was like, oh, no. He must have sent me a Facebook message or something like that. And he said, if you ever need an extra band member, let me know. And I was like, this band's splitting up, mate. You know, let's just do our own band. Yeah, he's like, oh, God. And we'd already toyed with it in the past. So, 7 or 8 years before that, we'd already tried Is This in a way. Because me and Adam had jammed together with different bass players, not Andy at that point, though. So I said, let's do our own duo band. And he was like, I know a bass player. And then 10 minutes later, I've got Andy friend requesting me on Facebook. And then Is This started, and we started as my favourite piece bands,
And what happened to Thing by then?
How did, with Thing?
What happened to it?
I left. Is This were doing so well, and I didn't have the time to do Thing. Didn't have the time or the energy. I was like, I need to focus on this band, because this band. Yeah, we played Ramsbottom Festival. It was like 650 people, and I was like, that was huge for us back then. I was like, nah, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket, and it's in the Is This basket. So it's worked in the end.
Well, Is This is so like stylized. Is it all caps or all small letters? Is and where did that come from? Where did the name come from? Because it is sometimes a bit difficult to say, like, it's this.
It's this. I mean, at least didn't call it first, which is a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we wanted a name. So obviously I'd learned from Ruby Tuesday that we need a name that if you Google it, nothing else comes up by that. So we knew we wanted to sound industrial. We loved, post-punk and all that sort of aesthetic. So we wanted something that sounded industrial. Originally we were called, we weren't called, but we were toying around with the idea of Dasist, D-A-S-I-S-T. And we were sort of getting German words for it is what it is. That saying, it is what it is. And we sort of instead of Dasist, with an exclamation mark that was talked about, by the way, but we won't go down there. Adam, I think it was Adam or Andy turned around and went, we should just call it Ist. And we're like, that's it. And at that time, we had a song we were jamming around with, which turned out to be White Swan. Don't know if you've heard that song before, but it's got a sample in it.
Yeah,
Sort of sounds like Ist. So I think a lot of that sort of came around from that. But basically, it's a silly band name. But we're stuck.
Because I think sometimes if you're having it's a bit of a struggle because you can say it's.
Oh, we've been called all sorts. All sorts. It's something my mum still can't pronounce it. I've been in the band for 10 years. I think she calls it it's.
It's yeah. I don't blame her because I have to be careful saying it because it's it's.
You have to slow down, really think about it, and go ist.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if it's that's it. It's that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think that's why we do so well in Germany, because I think they think we're German.
Yeah. You've always been so you get compared to Joy Division quite a lot.
Yeah. Half an hour. I thought it was going to come sooner than half an hour. The JD comparison, but yeah. It's a compliment. It's a compliment. One of the greatest bands of all time, I think. You know what I mean? They sound fantastic, and if basically with the Joy Division comparison, let's face it, it's the vocals, isn't it? So if you listen to the instrumentation behind it, that influence is, it's like, Jim Morrison, it's that talking cool vocal. David Bowie did it a lot. And you got to remember, Adam's from Romley. So, Ian was from Macclesfield, right? So they're in the same sort of region of voice.
Yeah.
By the way, in Adam's old band, the Casinos, he was just the guitarist. And when we did jam together, he's always sung like that. That's just the way he sings, It's not contrived or copied or anything. It's the vocals. So I've always said, we could do a reggae song and have Adam sing on it, and it still sound like it's this. So it's a strong vocal. That's the Joy Division comparison, I think.
But it's not something that's deliberate. You didn't actually
No, we write
make it sound like that.
No, we write and play music that we like. So the influences are going to drip in, and Joy Division is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And New Order? You also big fans of New Order? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really listen to a lot of our stuff, there's a lot of other stuff in there as well. So there's Pixies. There's a lot of Pixies in there. I feel, and stuff like that. Even more contemporary bands, sort of like Protomata and War on Drugs and stuff. So there's quite a lot of influences. Like all four band members have very different tastes, but they're all quite similar at the same time, which is always a good mix for a band.
Yeah, because you're quite big now. I mean, you're doing really well.
It's going great. It's going great. Yeah, it's been a nice, steady incline. It's not been like, boom, where's this band come from overnight? We've got, we're about to release our fourth album, and we've worked really hard, and we've just forged our own path, really, and we've stayed really committed to what we do, and the people who like it turn up, and and it just keeps getting bigger and better. I think the big one for us was like in the early days, we always did well in London, which is always a good sign for a Manchester band if you know the London lot. Well. So, and we've always done really well in Yorkshire and Scotland and stuff. So they're growing nice and steady. But the big one for us, Netherlands. So a radio station called Kink FM picked up Your Mind, which is like, I think that's like their national radio or something similar to XFM or something like that. And they picked up Your Mind, and we just saw the demand in the Netherlands and Germany start to come through. So I mean, our biggest show to date has not been in the UK; it's been in the Netherlands. You know,
I've got a friend who's originally from Portugal.
Right. Oh yeah, we played Portugal a couple of times.
Yeah, he's a big fan. He's a big fan of this. And then when he found out that I worked at because I work at Kingby Records in Chorlton. Right. He's always sort of like asking me if we have any artists. So I just CDs or records. I said, no, I've never seen it. I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, we need to get them in there.
Gigs.
Sorry?
Are they only available at gigs, or do you?
No, we have distribution and stuff. Website's the easiest way to get it. Straight through the website. You know, we've got distribution through there. Is this over in the Netherlands?
I think he lives here now somewhere, but he's originally from Portugal.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah. So
I love all these really nice countries, like nice sunny countries that love like miserable post-punk music. That's like my favorite combination ever. Right.
Yeah. It's like us when we were kids in the 80s in the Philippines, and then we're big fans of like the Smiths and Joy Division, New Order. But anyway, so Aidan said, as a German speaker and online teacher, I wholeheartedly approve of Ist.
Oh, right, brilliant.
Yeah, because Ist is good, and Ist is good. So that's an example of Ist. So. Yeah, I think that's why you're big in Germany as well, is because having that name.
I wouldn't say we're big, but we're going round. We keep on getting invited back, which is a good sign, isn't it?
Well, you are doing not just a UK tour, but it's like a European tour as well in September, October, and November.
Yes, so. We did a European tour back in March, April, and that's the first time we did some Scandinavian dates as well, which was really cool. So we got to play in Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. And then in November, we're back out Europe again. So we got the big one, the Paradiso in Amsterdam, which will be good. Really excited for that one. And obviously we've got some extra places that we've never been before. So there's a Swiss date, Hungary, Poland. So it's finding new territories where there's enough demand for us to go and play a show there. And our booking agent is really good at sort of mapping out these tours and, working as hard.
I'm not surprised that you're actually full-time with Ist now, because the tour itself is like, I don't know how many dates, but it sounds like a 3-month thing.
I think Andy worked it out. If the UK and the European tour is 28 shows within 7 weeks, so it's like a gig every other day, as it were. So,
and the important one is in Manchester, the New Century Hall on the 19th of October.
Yes. So
that's
a biggie. That's a big one.
That's a big one. So I'm really gonna try and go to that one, because at the moment I haven't been to a gig for a long time now. My last gig was 20th of June. It's like over a month. So, but I will try and make that October date.
Yeah.
Another thing that I've noticed from social media, from Facebook, anyways, is you've got an official photographer. Midge. Midge Sanders is a brilliant gig photographer. It's like just a box, and he's almost like your official. It's like
I'd say it.
You're his band or something.
Well, he's a driver as well, so he drives. Yeah, he he drives us around and gets really good flattering pictures of us, you know. Try and keep the beer belly out of the drum pictures, Nige. No, he's great. I've known Nige all the way back from the Ruby Tuesday days, so it's been a long time with Nige. But yeah, he's a great photographer and he's always fun to work with. So yeah, he's great.
Yeah, and he always promotes you as well.
He is. He does. He's a good guy. He's one of our more preferred friends.
Yeah. So how does that work though? So it's like he just photographs you all the time, and then
he's great. So he'll drive us to the show, help us unload the van, all that sort of stuff, get us all set up, make sure we've all got a beer for when we go on stage, and then he just takes loads of cool pictures, helps us pack all the gear up, and drives us back to the next venue or back home.
Yeah. It's good that, because I think it's very important to have those amazing photos.
Yeah.
Especially for social media, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, having a photographer with you as good as Nige all the time it's invaluable. It's really good.
Yeah, and it's good that you've got a social media presence as well. Because sometimes I feel that there's some musicians not on Facebook or not.
Well, it's only recently I have a very love-hate relationship with social media. So anyone who sort of knows me is like, I'll be on it for a bit and then I'll delete it. And then I'll come back and I'll delete it. And now I just what I do now is if I get bored of it, I just delete the app. You know what I mean? Not delete the account. And then when I'm, when I can be looking at it again, because it's full of rubbish in it. There's loads of rubbish. So.
But it's good though. I think it's good for musicians.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like that's how you get. Because for me, like I was saying earlier, as a fangirl. I mean, nowadays it's actually quite easy to sort of get to know your favorite musicians or your favorite bands and things like that. Because in the past, like when I was in the Philippines, you'll write a letter, you don't hear anything.
That's like an old school DM, that, isn't it? But the main reason I came back on Facebook is we've got our It's This fan page, like members fan page.
Yeah.
The lads had always we'd always look through it and stuff after the shows and stuff like that. I was like, I want to be involved in that. So that's the main reason. That's the main thing that I'm on Facebook for is for the It's This fan group. So if anyone watching, get over there and get following that page.
Yeah. And it's the actual band members who actually reply and respond.
Yeah. Andy's the main social media band member. So if you're talking to anyone online through social media, there's a 95% chance it'll be Andy you're speaking to.
Yeah.
Let me just find the page here because I should have had this prepared. So unprepared.
I'll look for it as well, and I'm going to include it too.
It's this fan group.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to join that community there, that would be greatly appreciated. But it's good. That's where the hardcore fans are. That's where all the goodest people are at. They're in that group. So
yeah. And how many members have you got so far?
1.4. 1.4 in there. So
yeah.
That's
very good.
Great community that they've built in there. So it's good. But if you like this, you'll like that page.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Do you get recognized now when you go out?
Me? No. Yeah. So I think Adam, our singer, I went and watched Death from Above last week. Death from Above 1979 at the Ritz.
Yeah.
The great duo band if you want to go and see a duo band. And I think, I just went about my night out with my friend Tom and then went home. And then I think Adam was out on the Saturday. He was like, oh, I think I had to have 4 pictures taken. And I was like, great. You know what I mean? I didn't. So Pete Salisbury from The Verve gave me the best bit of advice ever. And he was like, he said this to me years ago. Real drummers are heard, not seen. So, if the attention should be on the front man all the time, and I agree with that. So, I think, the drummer from Coldplay has got the best gig in the world, hasn't he? Let's face it. So, he gets to play the biggest gigs for the biggest pay, and I bet he can go to like Sainsbury's and no one know who he is. That's the game. Yeah,
But
so
I just think, well, it's actually one of the main reasons why I started doing Ask the Drummer, because it's like, you know, you've got to be, people should know about the drummers as well, and not just the lead singers. Or
I mean, the drummer in the drum community is always good. It's always a bit nerdy, you know. When you're on tour, so we were on tour with like, you know, October Drift and other bands like that. The drummers naturally make friends immediately. You know what I mean? So the odd ones out in the band. So yeah,
I remember Lol told us from last year. He did say that all drummers are friends. So
yes,
would
it
you
always
say
tends to work out that way. Yeah, odd ones out, aren't we? Weirdos of the band. So
no, I think it's very important. It's so like you also get recognized and you get seen by people.
Not bothered about that.
But go on.
I think the funniest one about not getting recognised, I've got a couple of stories. So I think the best one would be we'd played Sacred Trinity Church and then we played Atma or whatever it's called now, 2 days after. Bless her. We just done a sound check and me and my girlfriend just left the venue. So we're just outside the doors and this girl comes up to us, running up to us, oh, you here to see us this tonight? And my girlfriend sort of went, and I was like, yeah, we're here to see us this, you know, like she was about to say, yeah, that's the drummer, you don't know. And she's like, oh, they were brilliant. They were so good. She's got like a phone now and she's like, look, I got a picture with them when they were at Sacred Trinity Church. And I was like, I hate to do this to you, but that's me there. Job complete. I love it. Brilliant. I got the best gig ever. And then the second time was the singer's brother-in-law, Al, helps out with merch. So he was doing our merch and we were playing Groningen in the Netherlands, I think. So. And he'd ran out of beer and we'd just come off stage. So he put in like in the band chat, he was like, someone bring us a beer. I was like, I'll take it. No one's going to stop me or recognise me. And I literally just come off stage, grabbed a couple of beers for Al, walked all the way through the venue. There you go, Al. Walked back. No one recognised me. So I'm doing my job perfectly. That's my mission.
How are you with fans though? Are you okay with sort of like fans go up to you and then,
of course. Yeah, our fans are great. You can always spot them a mile off, you know what I mean? They're always proud to wear the merch and stuff. So yeah. Right. Yeah.
Very so you're okay with sort of like people going up to you and asking for photographs or maybe signatures?
Yeah, I'm fine with that because it never happens.
No, because I have had, I mean, not many, but I have had experience before. Because I think with the drummers, they get the most difficult sort of like job because it's like everybody else seems to be, you know, mingling with the fans and saying hello to, and then the drummer is still left on the stage trying to put all the.
Luckily, I've got Matt in the band who has a synth, a keyboard, 2 pedal boards, 2 guitars. He's got just as much gear as I've got.
Yeah.
Sometimes he takes longer to pack up than I do. So I've got a friend in Matt in the fact that I think his live rig is bigger than my drum kit, you know, when you put it all together. So he can spend just as much time packing up as I do. And plus Matt is a drummer as well, a very good drummer. Not many people know that. So he was, and he was in a band called Tyndrum, playing drums, and that sort of come to an end and stuff. And then Matt had sort of fallen out of love with playing drums, I think, at that point. So Matt always had like a synth or something next to his drum kit. He was always doing something else alongside the drums. So he's like, join us this and play synths and guitars. And Matt's a very good drummer. Very good drummer.
I'm good.
Keep an eye on him so he doesn't steal my gig.
Well, what I was going to say is sometimes because they have to do all these packing up and then it takes them a long time to do it. Sometimes you can tell that they're really not annoyed, but the last thing they want is for say someone like me to go up there, okay, I have a photograph. Okay, you sign it. Do you sometimes feel that when you're backing up and then you get this sort of like fan, hello,
Right.
you have a photo.
Yeah, it happens quite a lot. I think last time we played Moth Club in London, which is a small venue. I think it's only about 100.
Yeah, I have been there. Yeah.
And we were packing up doing our thing, and there was this lad with his son who they were both drummers as well. So they're like talking. I'm sort of doing my cymbals and putting them in cases, and they're down there. I was like, I should come on the stage and talk to us, and we're just I talked them through the kit and stuff like that. Yeah, great. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's very cool. Yeah, I've only ever experienced once where he just sort of like I asked for it and then he walked past me, like just looking sort of like annoyed that he had to.
That sounds like you've had a bad gig. I've had my share of bad gigs where I've got into my own head and probably a bit of a moody bugger after it, but it's like any job. You can't have a good day at work every day, can you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So some gigs are more testing than others. We played last night at Tramlines Fringe Festival for Scruff of the Neck.
Yeah,
that was a stressful gig. It's festival changeover. Everything's going crazy. Using a house drum kit that was absolutely battered and all that sort of stuff. But we played well. It was good gig in the end. So it does have its stresses like any other job. It's just the coolest job on the planet, though, isn't it? So
yeah. And drummers are the coolest people in the whole wide world. I have to say that.
We've got you've got the most amount of gear. You got the heaviest, most loud, annoying piece of gear. But when you actually get to it and play and get to do it, that's the reward because it's the coolest thing on the stage at the end of the day, in my opinion. So
yeah. Well, what's it like playing not your own kit? Do you normally bring your own kit when you do?
As much as we can. Yeah, as much as we can. But with festivals and stuff, you get a changeover. They're always running late, aren't they? You know what I mean? Because stuff goes wrong and stuff. The best festivals are the real professional ones where the risers and they just roll the kit on and off. So you got all this time on stage. You can set up your kit, make sure everything's just perfect, and then they just roll it onto the stage. Obviously, some festivals they haven't got the facilities to do that, so it's more of a matter of right. This is what you're using. Let's hope it sounds good. But yeah, I try and use my own kit as much as I can, and same with when we're out on tour and stuff. If the stage is so small, the support band will have to use my shells, which is fine as long as they don't move too much stuff. I've got that measured out. I have to get the spirit level out after they've played, make sure everything's just perfect.
But you're not too precious about your own kit being used by other bands.
Not too precious about the shells being used, no, but I am precious about the heights of everything. Do you know, my cymbal stands and stuff like that? I am very nerdy with that, seat height, all that sort of stuff. So normally we say to the drummer who's supporting us, bring all your hardware. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just easy to take all my hardware off and put theirs on. Or if it's a tour with the same support band. So we did it with Aerial Salad, for example, and Midnight Gallery as well. I'd say to them, sit behind my kit. How comfortable does that feel? And some of them go, yeah, this is great. And they don't have to move anything. And I'm like, yes, that's my favorite touring drummer right there. So yeah, we accommodate. You're a team at the end of the day. So it's got to make the gig run as smooth as possible. So whatever needs to be done, be done.
Especially have you ever sort of played a drum kit that not your own? Obviously, as I say, in a festival where there are loads of bands playing, and you just felt like this drum kit is not right for me. Have you ever sort of
I think the worst one ever was a Ruby Tuesday gig. It was a festival actually. Ruby Tuesday were playing a festival. It was one of these all-dayers back at Ruby Lounge.
Oh yeah.
And the headline band was like an 8-piece fusion funk band. And I turned up and they were like, right, here's the kit. You're more than welcome to use it. And you've seen my kit, right? It's kind of Ringo, just 1, 2, 3 drums, 4 drums. That's it. That's all I need. This guy had everything. He had the kitchen sink. So he was like, bass drum with a double pedal, 1, 2, 3 toms, 2 toms down there, splash cymbals everywhere. It was like a jungle for cymbals. And I was like, okay, looks like we're using this. And it's so weird because at that point I just had a pair of hats and a couple of cymbals, and then I had all these drums. I was putting the most stupid drum fills in ever, because it's not every day you get to play on a kit like that. It's funny.
But are they really necessary, those things? Because I've seen drummers with just the very basic.
Yeah,
and they sound great. It's amazing. But then you also see drummers with like loads of things surrounding them.
Yeah,
you think.
I think it depends on
music.
Yeah, what the music dictates. So, for example, if you were to go onto my drum kit and try and do a Rush gig, it's not going to sound too good, is it? You know what I mean? So, all that. Just like, don't work. I mean, you could do it, just sound bizarre. So it's more of like what's needed for the job. So
yeah,
I like a smaller, not too many frills sort of drum kit. So, you know, like I said, Charlie Watts, Ringo, Dave Grohl in Nirvana, like those people who just had that.
Yeah,
if you get it done on that, why would I bring something else? Plus, I did experiment with a second floor tom, but like, you know, I'm in my mid-30s now. That hurts getting round there. No, not for me.
But when you write the song, because I presume that you saw like the drum part of the song is from you. You're the one.
Not always. So our writing process has evolved over the 10 years, obviously. So the early days was getting a room, let's all write together and stuff like that. But I think through COVID, it changed a lot. So Matt, Andy and Adam were sending parts to each other, you know, via Dropbox and stuff like that. And the demos that Adam comes up with, he's got books and books and books of lyrics, and he's very creative with his ideas. And the demos that Adam comes up with, sometimes the beats are so right for the song, I don't change them. So we've got a song called Nothing More, Nothing Less, which is off the third album, Protagonists. That's the drum beat from the demo. Why would I change it? I was like, that's right. You know what I mean? But, you know, I don't want to give Adam all the credit, because sometimes he'll send a drum beat through and I go, dude, I've only got 2 hands. You know, the stuff that he's programmed, it's like, there's a ride going, there's a hi-hat going, and a tom and a snare. I'm like, mate, come on, behave yourself.
But when you write your own sort like drum part, so you obviously you only do the drum part, which is not like, you know, you're talking about Rush with all those sort of like different feels. So you don't do anything like that, or you don't write a drum part that's.
So I think in the album that we've got coming out in September, it's the first time we've worked with this new producer, Joe Cross, of Cortinas and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
The drum writing and the whole songwriting process was so different. So we gave Joe the demos. He sort of like gave a load of suggestions, put some different fills in and stuff like that. I was like, okay, that's cool. So I learned them. And then we went into the studio and we tracked it. And this is the first time I've ever experienced this. Once he's sort of got 4 or 5 takes, he was like, do a free pass, you know, play whatever the hell I want, you know, it can be as silly as I want, as long as it's in time, or like, you know, chuck fills in where they shouldn't be, all that sort of stuff. And then when we got the drum tracks back, he'd put some of the most outrageous drum fills in the song. So the process is different every album, different every time. But going back to what I said earlier about my job is to be as adaptable and flexible as possible to make the song sound right, which I do for independence practice and stuff like that. I played the fills. Joe's just put them in weird places, which sounds great, you know. So everything's different. I think you've got to be really open to ideas and stuff like that. So, you know, even though we write as a unit and each band member definitely adds their own sort of flavour to it, I think the end product is the main focus. And if I sort of approach it like a producer behind a drum kit. So I don't want to play anything that sounds weird. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Less is more, space is ace. You know, that's the way we go for.
Yeah, I find it really fascinating because most of the time, you know, it's like singer-songwriters. Yeah. They'll write a song and then they'll sort of like play it using guitar and things.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated about the drum parts, whether it's, you know, whether it's like the one who wrote the song has already got that drum part for it, or they just sort of like it's a drummer themselves who actually sort of like put it and make the song complete, you know?
Yeah, it all depends on the process, you know. Some songs are just written like that in the room, you know, all four of us are like, oh, that was great, and everyone's just sort of jammed it out and it's worked, you know. You know, it's the same if like someone was if you're writing in a band and the guitarist all of a sudden starts playing a weird note, everyone will go, do you want to stop playing that weird note? Because it sounds weird. So if they're playing like a dead slow, moody synth song and I just come in with like a punk drum beat, they'll go, maybe not the punk drum beat, you know? So.
Oh, it's amazing. It really is. But anyways, it's we've been chatting for about an hour now. I still have 4 regular questions that I always ask the drummers. First one is do you twirl when you play the drums? Or is that not an ist thing?
Do I twirl?
You go like,
the stick thing. I've done that. I've done that once and one time only, and I'll never do it again. This was in Rum Diamond. First song, playing, give the stick a twirl, flies out of my hand, not brought any spares.
Oh no! God.
Never again. Never again. Those things stay in my hands unless I accidentally drop them. No more twirls. No. That's a hard lesson to learn that. So about 13 years ago I did that. 14 years ago. Never again.
The drummers always have this bag full of sort of like drumsticks.
Absolutely. Yeah. The toolbox.
At the time you didn't have any spare, so you didn't have any.
Well, I was young. You learn, you live and learn.
So you're not gonna do it again ever.
Never. No twirling. Behave yourself.
No twirling. I was all like thinking maybe it's not an ist thing to do because it's
not very ist, is it? You know, it's more of a Motley Crue, Blink-182 thing to do, isn't it? You know, not very ist.
Not even when you saw like there's like a gap and it's like I don't know if there's like you're waiting for, you know, the guitarist to tune their guitars.
I'm always waiting for guitarists to tune the guitars. That's all I seem to do. I know just I'd be warming up on like my leg or something in rehearsal or something like that with some sticks, or I've got like an electronic pad next to me that I use as a bit of a practice pad. So I just get warmed up, but no twirling, no fancy stuff. Twirling. When I see that on Instagram as well and someone's doing all the stuff, go away, can't be bothered with it.
Okay. Well, next question is, what about drumming heroes?
Drumming heroes?
Yeah, apart from Roger Taylor, which is...
Roger Taylor is the... Yeah, okay. Drumming heroes, Roger Taylor, definitely. Dave Grohl, Nirvana, when he was in Nirvana.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's insane, isn't it?
He's a guitarist now. He's a singer of guitar.
I'd rather he went back to his drums.
Yeah, that's right.
God, I've got so many. I've gone blank. Sebastian Granger from Death from Above, definitely.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ronnie Vannucci from The Killers. I'm going to go for some underrated drummers there as well. Yeah, Ronnie Vannucci from The Killers. His style is incredible. Brian Davendorf from The National. He's a drummer that doesn't get talked about enough.
No. See, that's why I think they should go on like podcasts. You know, you should go and ask the drummers and people will know these names.
Totally. And I'm gonna put Rich Jupp in there as well from Elbow, my teacher.
Your teacher, yeah.
He's my teacher, my guy. I mean, I was an Elbow fan anyway, so it was really cool meeting him coming into the shop and stuff. But then to do some lessons with him, It's incredible. Yeah.
What about Rennie?
See?
Rennie from
Stone Roses. Yeah, great. I've never met him or anything like that. I like the Stone Roses. I'd say out of all the Manchester drummers and stuff like that, I'd go Mike Joyce.
Yes.
that 80s drum sound. I love the Smiths. Yeah, Mike Joyce.
Have you met Mike Joyce?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, okay.
I'd tell a lie, yeah. I met him at a gig in Bolton years and years and years ago. And me and my mate, I think my mate Ryan got him to play Queen is Dead on his kit. He's like,
really?
Yeah. That was ages ago, briefly.
Do you get starstruck?
Yes.
You do? So
I'd say so. Depending on who it is. Yeah.
And do you go up to them and say, okay, I have a photograph? Or...
The last one was, I wouldn't say it was starstruck, but as me and my girlfriend were doing some shopping in Cheadle Village and having a beer and a bit of a day out and stuff like that. And I was walking and I was also, that's Jimmy Goodwin from Doves, that. You know, the singer from Doves.
Yeah.
Yeah, just doing some, I think he was in the Oxfam looking at some charity shopping stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to bother him. So it's like a Wednesday afternoon, just leave him to it.
But it's probably sort of like a musician thing, because being a musician yourself, then you don't really want to be so like...
Yeah, I think there's a bit
doing a fan thing.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, if a serious celebrity was to walk in, I probably would get starstruck, yeah. I'm not the most extroverted person until, I get to know someone, so...
Yeah. Next question is, have you ever had any accidents, like drumming accidents, in your years of drumming?
Like I said, I had to redo all my technique stuff because I knew I was getting problems with a carpal tunnel. Nipped that in the bud. I've had injuries that have affected my drumming off the kit. Yeah, so I flipped a quad bike in Greece and hurt my ankle.
Oh, no.
That was a pretty silly one. I've had my wrist bent back playing five-a-side, and then had to go on tour. So there was a tour. I can't remember when it was. I think it might have been not the last European, the tour before that. Anyway, you might see there's some pictures of me wearing a drum glove and a bandage.
Yeah.
My wrist is sprained. I hate wearing drum gloves, but it's the only thing that I could use to get me through the gig. So yeah, I've had silly injuries off the kit that have then affected my drumming. So gotta be careful.
But none was so like you fell off your drum stool or whatever.
No, I've been quite lucky with that stuff. I've accidentally poked myself in the eye with a hi-hat rod packing up. That's painful.
Oh,
yeah, so I'm really careful with that now. Like when I pack my hi-hat up, I'm like this. Stay away. That hurt. But yeah, apart from that.
Well, hopefully you won't get any of those sort like accidents. Yeah. Well, my last question is, what would be your advice to aspiring drummers or musicians out
there? For the drummers, you're probably not practicing enough. If you're really honest with yourself, I don't practice enough. Be musical in your choices. Drums aren't a lead instrument; they're an accompaniment instrument. So accompany the music properly. And drummers, please, for the love of God, learn how to tune your drums. Please. Yes, you have to tune drums.
I know.
You have to look after them, and they sound bad if you don't tune them. So please learn how to tune your drums. That's the big one.
That's the one thing that I didn't really know. I thought all those drum kits just there, and you don't do anything. It's already.
I think the reason I've done well and been in so many good bands is I'm not a fantastic drummer. I've just always had really good sounding drums. That's literally half the battle. If you've got a really, really good sounding drum kit and you play the most Bobby Basic drum beat ever, it's going to sound good. If you've got a drum kit that sounds crap, but you're amazing, it's going to sound crap. So get some good drums, or any drums, get some good heads and learn how to tune them. would be my biggest bit of advice. As someone who has to listen and used to work in the drum shop and hear other people's drums, learn how to tune your drums.
Well, one of the questions, does it matter what brand drums the drums?
Just play what you love. As long as you like that brand and you like that kit or that cymbal or that drum head, it's going to be good. No one sells rubbish, you know. It's all a matter of taste. I'd say the most important thing, do you know, like we were talking about using the right drum kit for the right gig, like the Rush drum kit. If you are doing the rock gig, maybe let's stay away from the jazz drum kits and the jazz drum heads and the jazz sizes. Maybe you want a bigger kit, you know?
Oh, I see. So there are different types of drum heads for jazz.
Definitely. Yeah, jazz, you're going to go for like a really thin, maybe a coated head. But for rock, like I use on my toms, you're going to go for probably a big, thick, double-ply, clear head. It does affect it, but the size of the drums make a difference as well, you know. So, you know, if you're doing the rock thing, you might as well just get rid of any bass drums that are under 22 inches because they're going to sound rubbish in a rock context, you know.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The size is the important.
Yeah. Are you endorsing any brand or?
Not officially, no. I've got sort of deals where from working at the drum shop where I've got good friends in the business who sort me out stuff left, right, and centre. But officially, no, I'm not endorsed by anyone.
Okay. Yeah, I'm always sort of like fascinated whether or not it matters whether your drum kit is by a certain brand or.
Yeah, as long as you've got the right sizes and the right heads for the right type of music you're playing, it doesn't really matter. After that, you can sort of go. I think another bit of good advice would be if you're like want to be in multiple bands, don't buy like a bright green drum kit. you know, like go for something that's like black or grey or silver. That's not going to take too much attention off that singer up front. You know what I mean? Because they won't like that. And plus, if the green drum kit looks good at the pop gig, but then you turn up to your metal gig and you got a bright green kit, it's not very. So,
metal.
Yeah, you got the pink drum kit for the metal gig, you know. So I'd bear that in mind as well.
Oh, absolutely brilliant! That is so good. Now, I always learn a lot whenever I talk to drummers about these things. So I know nothing about the technical side of drumming.
That's the best way to be, I think.
I just like watching drummers. I love everything that's sort of like a drummer.
Yeah, whenever I do go to a gig, the drummer's getting watched.
Yeah. But before I let you go, do you want to just sort of like tell our friends about your upcoming tour in September? Yeah.
I'm just going to get my cheat sheet up 1 minute. I can't remember anything. So we've got, I think the big one is we've got our fourth album, Light a Bigger Fire, coming out on the 20th of September. Pre-orders are available now. We've got loads of different varieties as well. So there's like special edition splatter vinyl, CDs, all that sort of stuff. Merch go around. So we kick off our UK tour 2nd of October at Hebden Bridge Trades Club. And we're playing Leeds, Glasgow, Newcastle, Wolverhampton, Bristol, Brighton, Sheffield, Cambridge, Nottingham, London, and then Manchester New Century Hall.
And then you go to Europe after that.
Well, we got Whitby Goth Festival in the middle of that.
Oh, yeah. That's
a good gig. That's a great gig. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed that last year when we played that, so that'll be good again. And then we're off to Europe. So Europe starts the 4th of November and goes all the way through to the 27th.
Yeah, you mentioned Whitby. That's a goth festival.
That's right.
So is this considered sort of like a goth?
We're definitely in those circles. We say we're a post-punk band.
Post-punk, yeah. That's like Joy Division, isn't that? So,
Joy Division, Cure, Gang of Four, all that sort of stuff. That's post-punk to us. That's the category we feel most comfortable in, I suppose. But alternative as well, anything like that. But we've got our own set of you know, a lot of the old school goth fans do like. Well, they're gonna like our stuff because that's the stuff that they were listening to back in the 80s, right? So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Joel. That's really good. As Aidan said, it's a fascinating conversation. I learned a lot. That's what Aidan said. Well, I did. So
thanks for checking in.
And I'm really glad that he said yes to Ask the Drummer. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get to that new Century Hall gig in October.
Absolutely. Give us a shout. Give us a shout.
Yeah, it would be nice to see Ist again. It's like that name. I have to like Ist. You have to sort of like stop and think about it before
you've done well with the name today. You've done
well. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you very much.
Hope to see you again soon.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye. Bye. Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. That was so lovely. I didn't know what to expect because, like I said before, it's been 3 years since I saw them, and I don't think personally, like, if you see me at a gig, I don't really talk to people. I don't know what to say. Sometimes I just go up to the musicians and I sort of like tell them, "Oh, can I have a photograph, please?" and things like that. But Ask the Drummer, I always love it because at least I get the chance to talk to them for an hour or even longer than an hour, and then I get to find out more about them, which is really, really good. But anyways, thank you so much, Joel K. That was so amazing. I really enjoyed that chat. Next week, as I mentioned earlier, is the 3rd-year anniversary of Ask the Drummer. We're going to be entering Ask the Drummer's 4th year. I can't believe that. It's not like, we're still here, we're still doing it. And that's thanks to drummers like Joel and all the drummers who guested on the show. Thank you for all your support, everyone, as well, for watching us. And we're going to have an amazing drummer for our 3rd-year anniversary next week. So I hope you'll come in and sort of like join us again. But for now, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, love music, love life, love drummers. They are the coolest people in the whole wide world. I always say this, but they truly are the coolest. So hope to see you all again next week. Bye for now. Bye.